Hey guys, Buckskin Dave here. Well, as I said in the last video, we got two that are coming up. One was going to be the comparison of the 4590 and the 5090, and one was going to be on 308. We're doing the 4590 and the 5090. And it's not going to be anything real extravagant. We're going to compare some velocities, penetration, and just some of the things between the two calibers. Okay, the vehicles that we're going to use to test these, this one you guys will recognize as a Sharps 5090. So it's a let's see, this one's got a 30-inch barrel. It's a 1 in 24 twist, I believe. It just has regular flip-up sights on it and a blade in the front. Just standard Sharps rifle. So we're going to use that. One of the 4590s that we're going to work with will be this one. You guys should recognize this if you've been following me. This is my Gemmer. I built it in 4590. This one has also a 30-inch barrel, I believe. Looks like it. Yep. It has a 30-inch barrel, and it's a 1 in 16 twist. And what we'll find, we're going to compare two 500-ish grain bullets. And one of the things that I've noticed with these, and especially with the lead bullets, is the smaller caliber. This is one comparison that I can make for you. The smaller 45 caliber with the same amount of weight of lead is longer than the 50 caliber. And I'll show you that in just a minute. It seems to me longer bullets stabilize better out of these guns, and that even goes to show when I shoot a smaller 45 caliber bullet, like say a 450 grain bullet instead of a 500 20 grain bullet. Okay, it's shorter, and it seems like the 500 still shoot a little bit better out of here. Not enough that you can't, you know, it's minute a deer or minute a elk, but it's a little better with a longer bullet. It seems what I found. One of the other things we're going to shoot, just for yuckity yucks, this is an 1886. This one also is 4590. One of the things with this, to shoot you can shoot 500 grain bullets out of it, but because of the length of the chamber, the 500 grain mold that I have, it's more for a single shot. It's a big rounded front end type thing, so it won't feed in here. But I have some laser cast bullets that will load into the shell, into the brass, and it'll only stick up just like any other 45 grain bullet would. So I can use these laser cast bullets. They're 500 grains, and they will feed through the magazine on this and into the chamber, and it makes this pretty much an elephant gun too. So this thing shoots 500 grainers, those laser casts, really well. Anyhow, one of the other things we got to do today before we get started here is I got another beaver job, and this one's clogging up a drainage ditch for a guy, and he wants to get his last bit of water in for the season out of that ditch. It's an irrigation ditch, not a drainage ditch. And so let's go take a look at that real quick and put in a trap, and then we'll come back and I want to show you the bullets that we're going to be using. So anyway, this beaver here, I've been asked to get him out of here. You can see this water gate, this gate here is kind of clogged up. We'll go around the other side. So we can see this beaver's made himself a nice little home here, a pond. The problem is the guy that's irrigating with this water isn't getting it. So I think we'll put a trap right here. Okay, so I only brought one of those live traps with me, which you can see here in the foreground with the sticks on it. So I put it in this little pond that the first dam is making from where it comes in at the river. And the water is dark and murky, so, and you can see in the mud that he's working on the dam there, so we'll see how that works, and then when I come back tomorrow I'll bring another one and put it down on that other dam. Okay, so these are the bullets we're going to be using today. The three on the left are your 45 grain. Their caliber is .458. And the two on the right are the 50 cals, and they're 5.12s. Of the three that are on the left, the shorter one is a 450 grain bullet. The one in the middle is a 500 grain laser cast bullet. And then the one with the rounded top, and that'll be our 520 grain bullet that we're going to use in the Gemmer, the 4570. To the right, the two bullets that are on the right, the bigger one, of course, is about a 515 grain bullet. Well, the mold says 515. My mixture brings it in at about 517, 518. And the one on the right that's also runs out as a 425 grain mold. However, when I make those bullets, they come in closer to 445 grains. Start out with the sharps, and let's run one of these sharps through the crony. We'll run the 500 grain bullet through the crony, and we'll see what it's doing. First thing we got to do is run back and check our beaver trap. So let's do that first, and then I'll see you out on the range. Oh, that's what we're talking about. Nice. Oh yeah. Wow. That's beaver. Tail's probably, that tail's a foot long, 5 inches wide. What a nice beaver. It's still muddy. The water's still muddy, so something else is, hey buddy, something else is floating around in here, still working, so we'll reset this trap. Just down the ditch here, there's another pond made by another beaver dam, and I have a trap there, and I came by there and there's nothing in it, so we'll go ahead and rebait this and set it and do the same down there. We'll put a little lure on it. I didn't put lure on that one, and we're going to put a little lure on it, and we'll see where we go from there. Okay. So this is the 5090, 500 and almost 20 grain bullet. It's my mix. It's pretty close to a 20-to-1 mix. So we're going to shoot it at the crony, and I just got a bullet trap down there that I'm going to catch a bullet for so I can remelt it down. So let's, and this is a duplex load. If I remember correctly, this thing ran stuff around 13 or so feet per second. So let's give her a whirl. Okay. 1248, and run it through the crony. Let's see what it'll do. Oh, by the way, that beaver was 54 pounds that I measured, so not bad, eh? All right, here we go. .1242. Okay, the other one was 48, so pretty consistent load. It's moving pretty good. 1200, that's a 500 grain bullet. So let me go see what the bullet looks like. I'll go dig it out of the bullet trap. 520 grain, 4590. So we're going to try that one through the Gemmer. We shoot it into the same bullet trap. Let's see what we come up with the velocity on this. This is probably straight black powder. So let's see how we do. That one was 1228, so not so far off from the other one. Both 500-ish grain bullets, both going around just under 1,300 feet a second. So 500 grain bullet, laser cast through the 1886. Let's see how that one does. .1488, and you can tell by the snap of it, and you can tell by the no smoke that it was a smokeless load. I think it was 3031 is what I loaded in there. So 1488, that's close to 1500. 500 grain bullet, definitely a good elephant stopper. Good bear gun, good elk gun. I also load that 450 grain and shoot it out of here, both smokeless or black powder, just depending on. I kind of like shooting both. I know some people are purists for black powder, some people are purists for smokeless. I like to use both of them and be able to have loads for both of them. So no matter what I'm shooting, where I'm shooting, or whether I can get or not get certain powders, I have a load for this gun. That 500, that laser cast, that hard 500, found its way into the sand and it hooked off to the right and it just blew out the side. What that is a big plastic bucket full of playground sand. And it's about 3/4 full, so I'm shooting low on the target so that it gets a good bit of sand. Something turned it and it just ripped out I could show it to you, but it ripped out a stretch of that barrel lengthwise because it was coming this way. And I'm going to see if I can catch another one. I looked out behind it, I couldn't find it, so let's see if we can catch another one. That one was 1488. Let's see what this one does. So you heard the velocities. Let's see what the bullets look like coming out of the sand. Here's some here. Okay. These are some of the 50s, 500 grains. Let's see what the they retained. Get some of the sand off of them. Just kind of see if they retain, what kind of weight they retain. They feel pretty good, pretty heavy. Okay, that one's 431, so it lost about 100 grains. $418, so lost a little bit. That other one, 431, so it actually lost under 100 grains. 429. So they started out 450, or they started out 515, 520, and they're down into 400. But look at the mushroom on that one. And that one, and of course, this is in sand. Probably a lowly elk wouldn't even stop this. So it'd probably go right on through. Here's that. Only fired one of these. And it was all black powder. It was a 520 grain A lot softer lead. You can see how kind of mushroomed out. This is 4590. Those were 5090. So let's see what this 508. That thing retained almost all of its weight. If you remember correctly, it was a 520 grain bullet. Not bad. Some of the other ones, okay, here we go. Okay, let's try the Gemmer. This is a 520 grainer. I don't remember, I'm not sure if I remember my holdover on this, but we're going to see if I do, I guess. There you go. Okay, so there you have it. Just a little comparative shooting and comparisons. I did a lot better accuracy-wise with that long 520 grain bullet out of the Gemmer with a 16 twist barrel than I did with the 50. Although I finally did get a aiming point with the 50. I haven't shot the 50 at 100 yards as much as I've shot that Gemmer, so probably a little bit more work with this would really help. I'm thinking that if you have a 500 grain or 520 grain 45 bullet traveling at 1400 feet a second, or a 517 grain bullet traveling 1300 feet a second, I'm thinking you're going to get about the same result on a critter. So kind of pick the one you want in that respect. But anyway, that's all I got today. Hope you enjoyed the shooting. Hope you enjoyed the beaver trapping. I'll see you next time. Till then, bye-bye.